sponsored by Squarespace. Shaolin Soccer came out when I was just old enough to be considered sentient, so it was the first film my friends and I ever anticipated. After all, we all grew up with Stephen Chow movies. So when we finally had it on DVD, we all huddled in front of a tiny CRT TV and spent our afternoon laughing non-stop. Even as a kid, I knew this movie was special. This, I think, is the only Stephen Chow movie to not only make me laugh, but also feel invested in the story. A big part of it is the lovable characters. Despite their difficulty in life, they never once meant harm to anyone. You want them to succeed. But another part of it is, well, the references. To avid Stephen Chow fans, Shaolin Soccer feels like a celebration of everything leading up to its release. And that is what we are going to talk about today. I won't go through every detail, otherwise the video will be longer than the movie itself, but hopefully I'll go through enough to elevate the film for you. With a new Shaolin Soccer film in development, this is the perfect time to talk about the classic movie. So sit back and let the game begin. The film opens with a flashback, introducing us to our main character, Golden Leg. 黃金右腳係我，唔係你啊. Specifically, Golden Right Leg. In the 90s, Hong Kong imported and dubbed some very popular soccer anime TV shows. Being a former British colony, the city is rather passionate about soccer. Golden Left Leg is a commonly used title in shows such as Captain Tsubasa and Shoot. Thus, to a Hong Konger, Golden Right Leg sounds like a cheap knockoff. It hints at the fact that Golden Leg isn't the big deal he fancies himself to be. Golden Leg's hubris led to his demise. He lost everything while his former teammate became a successful businessman. We'll come back to his teammate towards the end. With nowhere to go, Golden Leg wanders the city until he meets Sing, a former martial arts monk played by Stephen Chow. In an attempt to sell his kung fu courses, Sing lists a few uses of kung fu, one of which is 9 swords of Du Gu, a fictional skill from the wuxia novel The Smiling Proud Wanderer. The belief that all kung fu came from Shaolin is popularized by Jin Yong, the same writer who wrote the aforementioned novel. In his books, martial arts and Buddhism were both brought to China by an Indian monk. His techniques took root in Shaolin, transformed into Kung Fu as we know it, and spread to the rest of China by Shaolin apprentices just like Sing. This is why Golden Leg is dismissive right from the start. From his perspective, Sing is just reciting info from a fictional novel. But then, Golden Leg witnesses Sing's capability. And he finds one last ray of hope. Together, they assemble a ragtag group of monks and begins training as a soccer team. The nicknames of these characters are simplified in the English release, but in Chinese, the names are grandiose and excessive. Sing, for example, isn't just Mighty Steel Leg. He is the mighty leg of the Buddhist guardian. Iron Shirt actually has 2 different moves, the Shield of the Golden Bell and the Iron Cloth Shirt. I assume one is for magic damage. Just like Golden Right Leg, these names also sound like knockoffs. In fact, these all sound like street kung fu, used in street performance. The dazzling names are used to attract passers-by, fitting names for a group of nobodies. Now that we have a team, we are going to need a website for publicity. Let's call ourselves Team Up Your Arsenal FC. And here we go. I made that in 10 minutes. That's how easy it is to make a website with Squarespace. This is why it doesn't matter if you have a business or if you are an artist, you should make a website. It's so quick and easy, and it adds so much personality and professionalism. It's not just the facade too. Squarespace also offers many professional tools to keep track of your website's traffic or to operate an online store. Start your free trial at squarespace.com/accentthecinema. Use the code accentthecinema to get 10% off your first purchase. If you need a website, make it easy, make it professional. Use Squarespace today. Following Sing, we meet one more martial artist, Mui, a Tai Chi practitioner. Mui works at a snack shop, using her kung fu to make mantou, Chinese white bread. It is the most humble of all Chinese food, made with nothing but flour and water, symbolizing Mui's pure soul and gentle heart. Mui is the only character who speaks only Mandarin in this Cantonese film, indicating her social isolation as an out-of-province migrant worker. There are only two characters who consistently speaks Mandarin to her, one of which is her abusive boss. The other person is Sing. Sing almost always speaks Mandarin to her, and always in a heavy Cantonese accent. He's not good at it, but he puts in the effort to do it just so Mui can feel more comfortable. A very kind soul indeed. Upon witnessing Mui's kung fu, Sing starts singing. The lyrics are made up by him, but the melody is from a classic movie, Liu Sanjie. This 1960s classic musical tells the story of a legendary folk singer from southern China. In the film, a local baron forces Liu Sanjie into marriage. To protect herself, Liu challenges him to a singing battle in accordance with local tradition. What follows is a series of awesome diss tracks. The particular song in Shaolin Soccer, however, is actually a flirting duet. The boys would sing the riddles, and the girls would give the answers. That's how flirting works back in an innocent time. It's a love song, sung by a clever, self-reliant woman who set the beauty standard in China in the 60s. This is why Mui so quickly falls for Sing. She's a lonely migrant worker in front of a man who puts in the effort to befriend her and even sings love songs to her. The team begins to work its way through the tournament, and with each match comes a cameo. First up, Team Sanxi Tofu, led by this dude, played by Vincent Koch. Vincent was originally a writer-director. He only played minor characters in Chow movies. Acting was not his focus. However, during the pre-production of The God of Kokiri, Chow needed an unknown actor to play the antagonist, so that his eventual betrayal doesn't come up as predictable. Vincent stepped into the role, and now people know him as an actor. Vincent even repeats his line from The God of Kokiri. And then there's the J-faced twin dragons, played by Cecilia Chang and Karen Mok. Both actresses began their acting careers by being the female leads in Stephen Chow films. Karen was most notable as Turkey in The God of Kokiri. Yes, that is the same actress. It's worth noting that at the time, Stephen Chow movies were considered lowbrow. Gong Li, for example, was widely criticized for appearing in Flirting Scholar. So these actresses went the extra mile to bring Chow's vision to life. Sandwiched between the matches is a small cameo from Lei Ginyan, Chow's personal friend and a former soccer player. Lee plays a recurring character in Stephen Chow movies, always a gender surprise and always go by the same name, Like a Flower. Originally he hated the character, but fans really liked him, so he eventually came around. Like a Flower has since become a euphemism for an ugly woman in Chinese. Shame he didn't get to show off his soccer skills though. All actors have the cinematic stardom kickstarted by Stephen Chow, and Chow's success was, in turn, made possible by their contribution. The second act is one big thank you to many of Chow's previous collaborators. And so, the team reaches the finals. It is time for Golden Leg to face his former teammate, and for Team Shaolin to face Team Evil. In Chinese, the team is actually called Team Devil. The word devil doesn't have a strong religious connotation in Chinese. One of Chow's previous films, for example, has this character called Devil Muscle Man. In this context, it just means the man attained his physique through hellish training. Devil Muscleman itself is a reference to a real-life figure, Arnold Schwarzenegger. Arnold was first known to the world as the Terminator, earning him the Devil Muscleman title. Taiwan would attach the word devil to most of Arnold's subsequent movies, from Devil Commando to Devil Jr. So, Team Devil just means the team is at its peak fitness. Sing kicks with all his might, and the ball turns into a flaming tiger. That is yet another reference to Captain Tsubasa, specifically the Tiger Shoot, basically the Kamehameha of the series. Now, you know where this film got its aesthetic from. Doped up their asses, Team Devil strikes down Team Shaolin one member at a time. First to go is Lightning Hand, an obvious tribute to Bruce Lee. The actor who plays Lightning Hand is Danny Chan. He's primarily a dancer brought on to choreograph this scene. Originally, he only had a small role as this dude. After filming, Chow realizes he looks too much like Bruce Lee. You can't have Bruce Lee do that, so he got promoted to a main character. He returned in Kung Fu Hustle as the mob boss. Yes, that is the same actor, that's why he dances in that movie. The next one is Iron Shirt, played by Tang Hee Tin. This scene kinda comes out of nowhere since the character doesn't have an arc. But I think the scene isn't for the character, it's for the actor. Tin started working as an assistant for Stephen Chow back in 1992. For the next 10 years, he will become one of Chow's most trusted partners, both behind the scenes and in front of the camera. On multiple occasions, he stepped up to solve Chow's production problems. So this scene gives Tanky all the glory he deserves. With the team running out of people, Mui comes to the rescue. And with her Tai Chi, she turns the tide of the game in a single move. Sing falls in love, and we all get a happy ending. There's this line in the movie that used to bug me. That sounded like the core theme, right? Teamwork makes the dream work. This is why I used to find it strange that the film is full of these heroic moments when a character single-handedly wins the game. But now, I understand. This line isn't even about soccer. It's about filmmaking. It's about Stephen Chow's gratitude for his teammates in the film industry. This is best symbolized by Golden Leg, played by Mang Dat. Uncle Tat had been Chow's comedic partner since they were TV actors. In nearly every single one of Chow's successful films, Tat was there to support him. On the night of the Hong Kong Film Award, when Tat won Best Supporting Actor, he didn't even attend because he was filming a movie with Chow. It's no exaggeration to say that Stephen Chow would not be where he is without him. Chow, of course, knew this. This is why, as soon as he gained creative control, he gave Uncle Tat more interesting characters, from Devil Muscleman to the antagonist in The God of Cookery. This is why Golden Leg is introduced first in the movie and has the most complete character arc in the film. Stephen Chow wanted him to shine. Indeed, you can't play soccer alone, and you can't make a movie on your lonesome. When his teammates raise Sing to the air, when Sing gives the trophy to Golden Leg, that humble and down-to-earth feeling is so pure and so sweet. This is why the movie is special.